So the mistakes that were happening with the last vid with the ollies were basically because I was overthinking just before I was doing the trick. So I really just want to sort of just go with the motions. Like, think before you do it, about 5 seconds before the trick, just take everything out of your mind and just do, basically. So anyway, I got the freestyle board out. So a little bit of a rundown. With these boards, the wheels are actually flush with the rail edge. They hang over the nut, the wheels, and the bearings are off-centered, so they're actually in the inside of the wheel, and they sit around here rather than the center of the wheel. And that allows you to stand in rail, so you can do funky freestyle tricks a lot easier. The reason why there's grip on the nose and tail is for when you do things like Caspers, so you've actually got something to grip on. You don't need it, but I mean, if you've got grip tape handy, why not? The skid plates are basically just so you don't raise the tail then, because if you're doing stuff like pogos or truck stands where you're on the board vertically, it makes it a lot harder when it's razor tailed and it's thin. So we put these on there. So we'll come back a bit. So what I was explaining last night was the heelside rail stand. So I'm natural, so I stand on the board like this. The camera's reversed because I'm using my front camera. So my heels are on this side of the board. Okay, it's a heel side rail stand, so the side that the heels are on, you stand on that side of the rail. So, as I was going on about, I'll redo it. So you got your deck, I'm natural. So heels, heel side, and it stands on the rail, on the heel. So when I do it, I'll put my foot here, I don't know, about a centimetre. You can actually have it in line with those bolts. And this one is on the curvature of the tail, which is, as you can see, here. So it's that inch past the bolts. So that's why my foot's here, and you can see those other two bolts. So I'll see if I can do one for you straight off. As you saw last night, I can actually do them. Just don't know how wide they are. Also like semi-rolling at the moment, so that's it. So you press on the concave, lift it up to about 45 degrees. Let this foot just pull you over and stand up. This is more balanced. You want to keep your weight more in the middle. That's it. There you go. Flop down. So another one, very similar, is the Casper. And you want to put a little bit more pressure on it, so it goes upside down. This foot, rather being on the base of the tail, the outside edge of this foot being on the base of the tail, not more the inside edge on the base of the tail. Same sort of thing, heel off, and you have more of your arch of your foot over the board, like that. And you want to actually turn a little bit front side, because otherwise the board, I'll show you with my hands. So actually have your heel more over rather than just the ball of your foot. You can have your foot up a little bit further towards the bolts, so up more here. When you turn, if you bring it over, naturally it's going to go backside and it's going to want to turn. Okay, which is alright if you're going to do half cab ones. But what you do to counteract that, you turn your body front side. So you go boom, turn your body front side, and it will stay straight. So with a Casper, you have to actually keep the front of the board up and balance it, and then you flip it up. So all these people that you see having their board like this, scooping it, sorry, that's not a trick. It just isn't. It's how you, I mean, you can learn to get out of Caspers that way, but it's not a Casper. This one might take a bit. Take my keys out of my pocket as well. Been a little bit since I've done one. you get to this cut. Hey. These bends so you don't have those stupid wobblies. That's essentially it. I'll learn one properly for you. It's been a while since I've done freestyle. A good year. Nice and low. So the foot touched, so technically that doesn't count. It's still alright, but the foot touched. We'll give it another go. Really, I'm just showing you the motions anyway. Nice and low, stance. Ooh, that was sketchy as fuck. Turn the camera around so I'm on some better surface, because this is actually sloped a little bit. So like I said before, I haven't actually eaten today. It's nearly 3 o'clock. So I'm getting a little bit shaky, and I've already skated, so excuses, but there we go. That was sketchy, but we landed it. So there you go, that's a rail stand and a Casper for you. So if you want to get into freestyle, have a go with them. I mean, they're fun anyway. You can do them on a street board. The rail stands might be a bit harder because of the wheel setup. You can do them, but you want to actually have your wheels flush against the board, against the edge of the board. There's this company, Mode Skateboards, there's Decompose, there's, I think it's called Offset Skate Supply. If you go to F Forum on Facebook, there's a whole community of freestyles and they're really friendly. They joke around a little bit, but I mean, if you're new, they'll help you out. There's a whole lot of freestyle boards available and they're fun to use. It's a little bit more precise, but it seriously is very, very fun to do. And it's sort of like a, there's Vert. Vert's great as well. Vert's more flowy. You got Street, which is kind of like a hybrid of both. And then Freestyle, which really kind of died out around the mid 80s, towards the end of the 80s. And it's kind of nice to still see it there. It is part of skateboarding and it's very creative and it's really cool. It looks awesome. It's literally like dancing on your board. So anyway, give them a go.